Hello friends, today I want to talk to you about how you can stay motivated and where does motivation come from. But first, about today's sponsor, my upstairs neighbor's dog. I want to talk to you about a study that was done at the end of the 90s, I think in 1998, a professor at Stanford University in the US. Her name is Claudia Mueller. You can even look her up. Basically what she did is she took a big group of 5th graders and gave them all some very complex puzzles to work on and to try and solve and just to see how they do. After they were all completed, after they all finished their work on these puzzles, she told everybody individually that you did great. Your outcome was very good. You did a very good job on working on these puzzles. But here's what changed. She took half of the group. She told them, you guys did great on the puzzle because you are naturally gifted. You have an inherent talent and inherent intelligence that allowed you to perform so well on these puzzles. Then to the other half, told them, you guys did good on the puzzles because you worked really hard. You spent a lot of time, you didn't give up, and you were very hardworking when it comes to solving the puzzle. After this, she presented each student again with 3 more puzzles to work on. One was easy, one was medium, one was advanced as complexity. Now what she discovered was very interesting. The children that were told that they were just naturally smart spent very little time overall on the project, worked a bit on the easy puzzle, solved it maybe, and then just stopped because they just assumed that that's their level and they can't really do more about it. That's like their natural intelligence. It can take them to that point. Now when she looked at the kids that were told they were hardworking, they spent a lot more time on the puzzles and solved more than the kids that were told they're naturally gifted, because from what they were told, they knew the outcome of these puzzles will be based just on how much they work. Now, what can we learn from this study ourselves? Now, basically, there's a concept of point of control. And the children that were told that they were naturally gifted, intelligent, they thought the point of control for their performance is something outside of their reach. It's something they were born with, and that's just their level. But for the children that were told they are hard workers and their outcome is based on the work they did, this translates into an internal point of control, and it just depends on them how much time they invest and how much energy and resources, and that will impact greatly the outcome of their tasks. And this just translates in motivation. Who is more motivated? People who consider that everything they do is run by outside factors, or people who consider that everything they do is controlled by their own action. Now, another story that proves this point is from a friend of mine that I used to know some long time ago. It's again something that happened in the 90s, and he used to work as a sales manager. But back then it wasn't the sales you know now. It's like people calling you to sell you something, online marketing, and this type of sales. It was door-to-door sales, which involved people just spending all day outside, just going in different buildings, neighborhoods, knocking on doors to try and present and sell a product. So it was noticeably harder and more time consuming than the sales that happens nowadays. But what he was saying is that he managed to tell which people will last in that job and which people won't, because as you imagine, a lot of people quit fairly easy because it was a very stressful job to do. So he said he could tell who will last and who will quit early on just by asking them one question. As soon as that salesperson had a day with 0 sales in which they didn't manage to do anything, you just ask them like, hey, what happened? Is there something I can help you with? How come today was so bad? And he said that the people that would answer, yeah, the weather was kind of bad, or it was a bad day because it was a public holiday and people didn't feel like talking to me, or just the building wasn't that good, that the people living there are not like the type of people interested in this product, and just all sorts of factors. So he knew that those people will not last in the job and they will just quit as soon as another opportunity comes to them, as they thought they cannot perform in this job. It's nothing they can do because external factors dictates how much they will perform. But if you ask other people who answer like, yeah, they didn't do any sales because I just didn't spend enough time, I didn't knock on enough doors, because I felt a bit sick, because I had my mind on something else, then he knew those people might perform because they realized that if they work harder, if they try harder, their result might improve and they would get more sales. So it's similar to the example of the school children. People who develop sense that they control what's happening are far more motivated and more performing than people who think that everything is dictated by external factors. So now, how do we develop an internal point of control so we can be motivated all the time? Basically, what you need to do is just acknowledge and tell yourself for each small task, like even cleaning the house, taking out the garbage, or polishing your shoes. I don't know what you do. Yeah, just say, this looks better, the house is cleaner, this smells nice because I took out the garbage, because of an action that I took, because I was proactive and I did something about it, and this is the outcome. So give yourself credit when credit is due. Now I will try and conclude this in the usual way, with just a quick recommendation of something that you might find interesting, the 5-minute cultural moment, let's call it. So this is basically a song, not something really mainstream with a lot of budget, but again, the heart that I think these guys put into it, it's amazing. So it's by Patrick Johansson, and the song is called Irsno. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but I'll put it on screen if I manage. And why I find this interesting is because it's a song without lyric. And while a normal song with lyrics, the majority of songs with lyrics will already put you in a certain mood, or kind of tell you what to think, or tell you what the song is about, and guide you in a direction of what the music is about. When you listen to a song without lyrics, at least from my point of view, your mind is free to roll and to interpret what's happening. And the video that these guys made, I don't know, goes really well, and I guess everybody can interpret it as man losing himself in nature, getting in contact with nature, getting in contact with his childhood, breaking away from his childhood. I mean, it's up to you to interpret, and that's what I find fascinating. It's just instrumental and video. So yeah, make what you want out of it. And don't forget, you are loved.